Hey everyone, my name is Ashley Eaton and I'm the Watershed and Lake Education Coordinator at Lake Champlain-Sea Grant and the University of Vermont Extension. Right now we are streamside at Potash Brook in Burlington, Vermont, and I'm going to run through some of the test tabs, the chemical water quality tests that are in the stream kit that you're going to be using. You may notice I'm wearing a couple pieces of equipment. This is called PPE, or personal protective equipment. This is going to make sure that when we're using the chemical test tabs that we're not getting it in our eyes or directly on our skin. So make sure before you begin all of your tests that you are wearing the proper equipment that's in the water quality testing bag.
Phosphorus is a nutrient that acts as a fertilizer for aquatic plants. When nutrient levels are high, excessive plant and algae growth creates water quality problems. Phosphorus occurs in natural waters in the form of phosphates. Over half of the phosphates in lakes, streams, and rivers come from detergents. Phosphate levels higher than 0.03 ppm contribute to increased plant growth.
In your water quality testing kit bag, there's going to be a test tube labeled phosphorus. This is going to be the tube that you want to use for your phosphate tests. Make sure you have this handy. This has the directions on it, so if you forget a step or you're not sure where you are, you can always reference that. The first thing we're going to do is take our cap off. Make sure that you set it somewhere safe. Whoops. And then you're going to take your test tube and you want to fill it almost all the way to the top. You can kind of just submerge it. And then I'm going to dump a little bit of water out. We want it just under the top. So this is a 5 milliliter test tube, and that's how much water we want to make sure that we have. The next step is going to be taking your test tabs, and the key piece here is make sure that you take your thumb and put it over the circle and make sure that that's totally over the top, and then you're going to push down. You're going to have to hold it and you're going to push down really hard with your whole thumb so that you get that test tab. So we can see that that test tab has now fallen to the bottom. I'm going to set it, there's an extra one, you should have a couple in the kit. I'll put that over there for safekeeping, and then I'm going to recap this. Make sure the cap's on tightly. So what you want to do is invert the test tube until the chemical tab has completely dissolved. And then once the test tab is completely dissolved, we are going to set a timer for 5 minutes. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. So now it's been 5 minutes, and now we want to line up our tube with the color chart that is on our chemical information sheets. And so this is a spectrum starting at 0 and going up to 4. This means that there is not a lot of phosphate in the water. This means there is a lot of phosphate in the water. So the color intensity on this chart and in your test tab is going to tell you how much phosphate is in the water. And so if we look at this, you're going to kind of try and see, okay, does this line up with one of the colors on here? When I look at this, it's most closely aligned with 1 part per million. So if I were looking at this, I would take 1 part per million, I would record that on my data sheet, and that data sheet, remember, you can enter later onto our online database with all of our water quality stream and lake data. After you're done taking your water quality sample and you have the test tube filled with both the stream water and the reagents, you're going to use your waste jar and you're going to dump that in there and store that away for later. We don't want to leave any liquid waste or physical waste, the test tabs or anything like that at the stream site.